Hi, everybody, and welcome to this webinar. I'm so happy you're taking some time out with us to learn about this very important topic. My name is Beth Phillips, and today we are going to be talking about breast health and the lymphatic system. Here we are in the month of October. October is here, and it is very well known as Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and rightly so, because statistics show that 1 in 8 women in the US will develop breast cancer at some point in their life. Isn't that staggering? Like, I had to double and triple check that statistic because I was like, that can't possibly be true, right? But unfortunately, it is. That came from breastcancer.org. And another number that might blow your mind a little bit is that breast cancer accounts for approximately 30% of all newly diagnosed female cancers. So that means 1 in 3 diagnosis, if you're a female and it's a cancer diagnosis, chances are it is going to be breast cancer. So that is why we are taking some time to learn about ways that we can help impact this system. But what is this system? What are we talking about here? So we're going to talk about breast health and the lymphatic system because they are so tightly linked. The lymph system, as you can see here, is a very long, you can consider it like a string of pearls, and it is millions upon millions of nodes that are strung together like this. Some are the size of a pinhead, some are about the size of a lima bean. And what they do is guard the body against the intrusive and destructive substances that enter our body through our environment, through things that we're putting on our skin. And sometimes you can actually feel when our lymph nodes are getting congested. Have you ever felt that kind of on the side of your neck if you feel like you're starting to get sick? Sometimes that's one of our early warning signs of like, ooh, something's off. And that is a sign that your body is working when they get tender and swollen. So as the fluid moves through each of these nodes, it's another chance for your body to fight off this pathogen. That is what your lymphatic system is here for. So this lymph system has a highway of tubes with fluid which produce antibodies, and then the spleen which filters out what should not be in your body. It is this highway that is the transport system for your immune system. So without a healthy lymph system, our immune system cannot do its job. That's why this system is has such a big impact on our overall health. Because the lymph system is the body's drainage system. It is the life of the immune system. Antibodies are manufactured by our lymph system. Antibodies are Y-shaped proteins, like you see here, that bind to foreign invaders and signal the immune system to get to work. So it's literally like your little army that once it detects something in your body, a foreign invader that should not be there, it's like these Y receptors are there to signal the immune system to get to work. So during an invasion of harmful bacteria or other foreign bodies, the antibody production is activated. And during this work of filtering, the lymph nodes will often enlarge and become tender to the touch. And that's why we can kind of tell something is off. And it's a sign that our body's working. So that's not a bad thing. It's just kind of a warning sign. We want to up our water intake, be drinking lemon oil in our water to help our body flush, be using our On Guard, and help the body do what it's naturally trying to do. This is a beautiful function of the body. So what happens though when it's not flowing like it should? That's what we're going to look at next. So cool statistic also, there is 3 times as much lymph fluid in our bodies as we have blood. Isn't that wild? 3 times as much lymph fluid. But unlike the circulatory system of our heart, which has its own pump, the lymph system has no pump, which means it only gets activated by movement. And part of the problem of our modern day and age is we are so sedentary. We don't move like we used to. Think about when you see kids out playing. What are they doing? They're climbing anything they can climb. They're jumping off walls. They're jumping off fences. They're they're finding everything to move. So their body is shaking. And that's why they are so healthy as they are young, as they are constantly activating their lymph system. So think of it like this. If you think of water in 2 different forms, water, when it's moving and flowing like a river or a stream, it's beautiful and clean, it's inviting. But if you've got water that's stuck in like a stagnant pond that's getting no circulation. How inviting and how clean is that water? It's not, right? It starts to grow bacteria and algae and mold and different things because there is no oxygen, because there is no flow. That's what can start to happen to our lymphatic system when it starts to get clogged up. So you can see on this sign here, some different ways to notice if our lymphatic system is getting backed up. So things like constipation, obviously it's not functioning well then, right? If we're not eliminating it all. Morning stiffness, having swelling in our extremities, having sore breasts with our menstrual cycle. I mean, all of this is normal, but if you have more tenderness than you think should be there, it's just a sign that your body's a little bit taxed. Skin issues, headaches is a really big signal that your lymph system is overloaded and you have too many toxins that your body can deal with. And so that will lead to brain fog, lack of energy. Having recurrent sore throats or having a lot of mucus in the morning is another sign that the body is kind of inundated with more toxicity than it can handle. The lymph system also plays a role in the presence of cellulite. So cellulite is a sign that the lymphatic system is taxed and it can't eliminate all the toxins that it has in it. So think about this. We eat approximately 70 tons of food over our lifetime. Then we have pollutants and irritants from our environment in our cleaning products, in our cosmetics, and all the things that we put on our body or in our body or around our body. All of those things the body is constantly trying to filter out. And the primary burden of all that filtration falls on our lymphatic system. So here we've got highlighted Aroma Touch. Aroma Touch is a great oil to get things moving. If you look at the oils in there, it has cypress, which helps with circulation, has grapefruit, which helps with detoxing, and peppermint, which also helps with energy and flow. So Aroma Touch is a great oil that you can use for some of these things that we're going to talk about later in this talk of ways that we can be impacting our lymphatic system, waking it up and getting it moving. Also, you're going to see a QR code here. If you want to snap that and grab that link, what this is a woman. She is a physical therapist who focuses on cancer rehabilitation. And she's got a great video here that focuses on how to do self-massage for breast lymphedema. And this is something we can all be doing, and we should be doing. It'd be super beneficial, but especially if you know someone or you are someone who has gone through treatment and possibly have some lymph nodes removed. There's a special direction that you want to move the flow of the fluid, and she goes through all of that in this video. It's a really well done video, and it's like 12 minutes, and you're going to get a lot of tips, and it just makes it easier to think about incorporating this and making it a priority in our lives, because it's an easy thing to do. It's an easy thing not to do. It's an really easy thing to do. So Dr. Mercola cites that women put an average of 168 different chemicals per day on their bodies that are absorbed by their skin. Makeups, lotion, shampoo, face washes, creams that quickly start to add to the toxic load of the body. So I want you all to sit and think for a moment about a day in your life. What does that look like? Typically, we wake up in the morning and we hop in a hot, sudsy shower where it's opening up all our pores. And what are we putting right near our brain? Sometimes we're using shampoos and conditioners that are filled with chemicals and synthetics massaging it into the open pores right outside of our brain. So these aren't things that we grew up thinking about, but they're things that we need to think about now. And think about the impact of over a lifetime, the amount of toxicity that's adding to the body to have to deal with. Then we get out and, we wash our face, we moisturize, we slather lotions with chemicals and fragrances all over our body because it smells good and it feels good. And that's just the beginning. We haven't put on our makeup yet. We haven't spritzed ourselves with perfume yet. All of this stuff is filled with dyes and chemicals, and the body is going like seriously? So here are some ideas of things that are easy to swap out where you're just going to get the benefits of the essential oils and natural ingredients and not the extra toxic buildup inside of your life. So doTERRA's got shampoo and conditioner bars that are really great. They're perfect to travel with. They take up so little space. And again, like that's an easy thing to replace. And think of how many times you washed your hair over your lifetime and how much toxicity you're reducing by swapping that one thing. What are you using for your skincare? We've got all different kinds. We've got this Virage line over here that is all naturally made. Everything's in a pump because there are no synthetic ingredients in there. So it needs to not touch your skin because it is all natural inside of there, but it's a beautiful anti-aging line. We also have a line for kids that helps with acne, but it's not going to have all those chemicals that a lot of the anti-acne medicated skincare has. That can be starting to build up and wreak havoc on the hormones of our teenagers, which we don't want. There's also an anti-aging skincare line. So these are just some things to think about that you can swap out and just reduce the amount of toxicity that your body's having to deal with. Okay, this is cool. I wanted to show this to you because this is something that we can do on ourselves in the evening while we watch TV on the couch or in bed. And this is a diagram of your feet. So have you ever had a massage and when they get to the top of your feet, it's tender and it hurts? Well, this might be why. You might have congestion and your body's letting you know that it's irritated in some of these areas. So what you're going to want to do is just massage these areas. It doesn't take a lot of pressure, just a gentle pressure, and massage up towards your heart because this gets your circulatory system returning blood from your farthest extremity back up to your heart and lungs where it can be reoxygenated. You can also, of course, amp it up and add some oils. So you're going to see some oil recommendations here like ginger, cypress, or rosemary. And we're going to get to the next page where we've got even more recommendations for lymph, really effective oils. So might want to take a screenshot of this too, but this is something great. Like, here's what we do. We've got a couch, and in our couch, it has cup holders for drinks. And so you'll always find like 3 oils inside of my cup holder. Might be aromatouch, it could be frankincense, just depends on what I've got going on. And so as we sit there, I try to remember to attach this habit to something that I'm already doing in the evening, which is watching TV with my family. And so you can add a couple drops of oil, be massaging it into your feet and getting this great circulation and cleansing before you go lay down for rest. You can also do lavender or something like that if you're really getting close to bedtime, and it's just going to help you drift off to sleep even faster. So this is that graphic of lymph-friendly essential oils. So things like clary sage, which is also really beneficial for women's hormones. That's a great one to use because it helps the body release fluid from swollen tissues. And that's something that will happen with lymphatic congestion. It's one of the signs you'll notice is like edema. It's your extremities swelling up because the body's not able to flush it out. So think of like, that's a major sign of toxicity. And it's something that we definitely want to be proactively working on. So cypress is a great one for that too, because it enhances circulation. Grapefruit helps dissolve fatty deposits. It's tightening and toning, and it's naturally antimicrobial, which is perfect. Juniper berry helps with the elimination of toxic waste. I love that one. I use that one over my kidneys. There's lots of different options there. So grab a screenshot of that and then just use your oils, run through what you have and try out and see what your body likes and responds to. Okay, so this is a fun one, and you've probably seen pictures of your friends on Facebook doing the cold plunge. Have you guys seen that? It's getting really popular now, and it holds so many health benefits. But the one that we're going to focus on today is this hot and cold shower, which I'm going to talk about in just a minute. The reason is because in our modern society, there are 2 major areas of conflict for our lymph system. Number one is the lack of movement. We talked about that a little bit. We are by and large a sedentary society, and this means that we sit too much. We're sitting in the car in traffic. We're sitting at our desk at work. We're sitting in the bleachers watching our kids play a game. We're sitting in a restaurant waiting for our food to come. We sit too much. We sit and watch Netflix at the end of the day. So because of that, we're not getting that lymphatic pump going. We're not getting that circulation to happen. So one of the things that we can do, as it talks about here, is rebounding. I don't know if you guys ever watched Tony Robbins, but that is what he does every day before his big events. When he goes on stage, he is on stage for 11 plus hours. And what he does to get his system going before he goes out on that stage is he has a rebounder in the back behind the stage, and he jumps on there to get his system going. So rebounding causes the valves in the lymphatic system to open and close, and it increases lymph flow as much as 15%. So think about how easy that is. You can do that by jumping up and down, doing jumping jacks, hopping, skipping, jumping rope. Any of those activities are going to help your body with getting that lymph flow going. The second area that isn't affecting our daily life and our lymphatic system is the toxic burden we have because of our environments. So we think of the foods that we take in. We talked about the chemicals that we're slathering on our body. And I have to mention here, got to take a moment and talk about things like Bath and Body Works products. And believe me, when I was a teenager, that was my jam. Cucumber melon, sun-ripened raspberry. I thought it was fantastic that my skin was always moisturized and smelled amazing. Ryan used to love the way it smelled back when we were kids, right? We didn't know any better. We didn't know that this was wreaking havoc on our endocrine system. And I don't know why they put those ingredients in there. Maybe it helps the scent last longer. I have no clue. But the ingredients inside of products like that, it's literally an assault on your hormonal system every time we're using that. So something that we really want to do is start switching out those things for a natural lotion that you can scent with your favorite scents and your essential oils. Not only are you going to be getting the health benefits from those essential oils, but you are reducing a major load of toxicity. Another thing that I used to and really enjoy was filling my home with a scent of freshly baked cookies that I haven't baked through a Yankee Candle. It was easy. It smelled good. In the wintertime, it was warming. Again, huge contaminants that is literally wafting into the air and we're breathing into our lungs. So as much as I loved them, we've switched all of those out for diffusers. You can diffuse in all the areas of your home. Not only are you reducing a huge amount of toxicity into your lungs and your respiratory system, but again, you're getting those emotional benefits, the immune system benefits from diffusing essential oils into the air. So I just wanted to mention those because those are two areas. I mean, plugins like Febreze, don't even get me started. Those are like toxins in a bottle. So ditch all of those and switch them out with something natural. Your body will thank you. And this is one of the reasons that women have these higher amounts of cancer inside of their body, especially breast cancer, is because we're around this stuff all of the time. So it's important that we make these changes. Okay, let me see. All right, so with all of the things that we've talked about, here's a part of our life to consider. So we talked about that string of pearls being our lymphatic system. When the level of waste in the body gets greater than the pace that it can be eliminated, the lymph nodes start to get overburdened and they enlarge. That's when we noticed enlarged lymph nodes. And what's happening is the body can't keep up with the amount of toxicity that we're putting in. And so it starts to swell. It's trying to compartmentalize this toxicity and protect us. So what happens a lot of times when swollen groupings of lymph nodes are detected? They're removed, right? Which can sometimes be necessary. But the other thing to think about is we didn't get to the root of the problem. Taking out the section of your lymph nodes that's working so hard at protecting you from the overabundance of toxicity has now disrupted your chain, literally cut it out, and you haven't got rid of the root. You haven't got to the root cause of the problem. So this is a huge awareness that our body is always trying to work for us. Its goal is to protect us in all the ways that it can. So think of it like this. We're going to use water again as an example. So say you live on a well. We live on a well. And you have a hose and it's got fresh water coming out of it. And after a couple years, you notice that the water coming out of the hose is getting dirtier and dirtier. Do you cut a section of the hose out and think that you're going to solve the problem? Or do you need to go look at the well? Because that's where it's coming from. It's the same idea with our lymphatic system, cutting a section out is not resolving the problem. And that's why I love the oils so much, is because they work on getting to the root of the problem. And when you can work on the flow, when you can increase circulation, when you can bring down toxicity in the body has an amazing capacity to heal. And I'm not saying this can always be achieved. And if you've had something like this done, do not feel bad. There's ways that you can support yourself, and that physical therapist, the cancer rehab one, is awesome. You're going to love what she shares with you to overcome the obstacles that can come from having those lymph nodes removed. But if you're someone who is feeling that they've got this situation coming up, this is a great place to start. Start with these things and see what your body is capable of. It's always awesome to test our body and see what it can do, because its goal is always to bring us into balance and for us to be healthy. And if we can provide it with the tools that it needs to repair and quit inundating it with excess toxicity, it's amazing what it can overcome. So in addition to the rebounding, it's also talking about the hot and cold shower, which is why we talked about the cold plunge earlier. So because cold water causes your blood to move to your organs to keep them warm. So think of it, when you're in cold conditions, what gets cold first? Your hands and your feet, your extremities, because your body pulls your blood in to protect vital organs like your heart and your kidneys and your liver. And so with that, it's pulling it in. You put the cold water on, it's rushing the blood in kind of backwards to the center. When you put the hot water on, it's flushing the body out, or flushing the blood out towards the surface of the skin. So it's kind of like a washing machine. If you're going back and forth between hot and cold, cold, it's sucking it in, hot, it's pushing it out. You're really cleaning out your arteries, you're cleaning out your lymph system, it's activating your heart. And that is a way, and you can see the benefits here with a cold shower, decreased inflammation and swelling. That feels really good. Reduced fatigue, lower cortisol, improved circulation. And then with a hot shower, improved cardiovascular health, reduced muscle soreness and fatigue, improved brain health, better blood flow. So this is something that you can practice in the shower. It's super easy to do. In the beginning, you don't have to go extreme to extreme right off the bat. Start with cool and then warm and then cold and then, hot. Don't burn yourself. But you want to work your body up to this process. And after a while, you'll start to crave it, which is crazy. It sounds really uncomfortable, but it gets to where your body wants that because it realizes what it's doing for it. And just a little tip, if you are doing this in the morning, it's good to end on cold because that's energizing and oxygenating. And if you're doing this in the evening, like after work, if that's the time you shower, then you might want to end on hot because that is relaxing and can help you get ready for bed. Okay, next we're going to show you another thing that you can do before you shower. Okay, so dry brushing. Have you guys ever tried this before? It is something that you do right before the shower. It takes 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how in there you get, but it's super effective. And here's why. The soft bristles of the brush, and you don't need to apply a lot of pressure. You're not trying to rake your skin because the lymph nodes are right under the surface. You just want a little bit of friction and movement. And what that does is get your lymph system going. So in the morning, before you get in the shower, just dry brush your skin. And there's a QR code here to that same girl who is going to explain how to do dry brushing. And it's super fun and helpful. And you want to do your extremities. You're going to start working all your extremities up. And that's going to get the flow going. And then you get into the shower, wash all that dead skin off. You're doing the warm and cold shower. Think of all of this benefit in your body that you can easily incorporate. This is just going to add an extra 10 minutes to your day. You got to shower anyways. And another thing you can do, we've got MetaPower oil pictured here because that's a great oil to add to the dry brushing. It's going to help with cellulite and it's going to help with circulation. Now in the video, she does mention no oils or lotions. Oops, hang on. But what she's talking about are lotions and oils that people add for gliding purposes. And the reason to not do that is you don't want the extra glide. You want that little bit of friction, so you don't need to coat the skin in something. But the essential oils are so tiny. If you want to add a little bit to your dry brush, you're just going to get that enhanced essential oil application directly onto the skin to be circulating through all your lymph system. Okay. Another thing that we've got to talk about is antiperspirants. I'm sure you guys have heard this information, but it's always good to mention. Another thing we grew up with, antiperspirants. Who wants to sweat? So great. You don't have to. You kind of do, because think about it. That is one of your body's exit points for bacteria and waste. And what if we clog that all up and say, nope, you're not allowed to sweat, keep it all in there, where is it going to go? What is the closest thing to your armpits? It's your breast tissue. And so with this overabundance, you have all these lymph nodes here. They're starting to build up with toxicity. What's your body going to do? It is going to shove it into a non-vital organ. Breast tissue is fat. It's a non-vital organ. So your body starts shoving the excess toxicity that it's not getting rid of naturally into the fatty breast tissue. That's one of the reasons that there's a predominance in breast cancer now more than ever. So get rid of the antiperspirants, switch to something natural. Your body will get used to it. And the healthier you are, the less bacteria you have, which is what causes the odor. So over time, this will clean itself out. What do we do if we have a history of using antiperspirants? Well, something you can do is a mud mask. So doTERRA has a detoxifying mud mask. And what you can do is apply it under your arms, leave it on for 10 minutes or so. You can amp it up with an oil like grapefruit, or if you happen to have yellow mandarin, it's a limited time oil that comes out every once in a while. It's super good for this. Or clary sage for its hormone balancing, whatever oil you want to use, just not something hot because that's delicate tissue. You're going to leave that on for about 10 minutes or so and then rinse it off. And over time, it is going to help unclog all of that residue that the antiperspirants have left there and help your body start to be able to sweat out and release the toxins the way it's supposed to. All right, so this oil blend is phenomenal. This is something we all should be taking every single day. DDR Prime was a blend put together to help with cellular health. So every day, our body is working on getting rid of bad cells. If a cell gets compromised, it looks at it and it says either you're fixable, repair yourself, or you're too far gone, self-destruct and go away, is what it's supposed to do. But in our day and age, and the level of toxicity and pesticides and like crazy things that we're exposed to, that process doesn't always happen. And what happens instead is these cells mutate and then they replicate mutated cells. And when you get a conglomerate of mutated cells together, that is tumors, that is gross. Those are things we don't want in the body. So DDR Prime with the frankincense, the thyme, the clove, all the oils in there, it goes through cell by cell and says, okay, you are repairable, fix yourself, or you are too far gone, self-destruct and go away. So it doesn't allow for these mangy cells to be replicating and taking up space inside of our body. So this is one, the capsule works great, take 2 a day. If you are somebody that's actively dealing with a situation inside of their body, people will take up to 6 a day. They'll take 2-3 times a day to help the body fight. There's also the essential oil that you can use to work topically on any area of concern as well. Just want to mix it with a little bit of coconut oil and massage it into that tissue. Okay, so this is a breast detox blend that all of us can do. And ideally, you want to do this for 30 days and then repeat that 2 to 4 times a year. So like once a quarter, if you could pick a month and do this for 30 days, huge benefit in your body's longevity of having healthy breast tissue. So it has frankincense. You guys know frankincense, right? Like king of oils. It is magnificent for cellular health. Grapefruit to help with that detoxing process, help the toxicity release and flow out. And pink pepper was studied to be very effective against bad cells in breast tissue. So these 3 together, you just want 2 drops of each with a little bit of coconut oil and massage it in to all of the surrounding tissue. I like to do it after I get out of the shower. I have them on my nightstand, and I will, after I've crawled into bed for the night, massage it in, let it air dry for a couple minutes, put a sleep shirt on, and then you know that you're covered. And so this is a great thing to do. It's a really easy recipe, 2 drops of each. And this is something that we can all be doing and our friends can be doing to be proactively working on healthy breast tissue. Okay, so we talked earlier about Things that we're using on and in our home that lead to toxicity in the body. One of the biggest contributors to toxicity are our cleaning products. That is why cancer has a higher rate among women. Think about it. We're the ones cleaning the toilets and the showers and the oven and using all of those cleaners all the time and breathing them in, and they are filled with chemicals. And so the body is trying to figure out what to do with them, and it ends up pushing it into our fatty deposits, which for a lot of us is our breast tissue. So doTERRA has a cleaning line, and it is made with, it's called doTERRA Abode. The oils in there were studied to be the most effective against household bacteria and mold and things inside of the kitchen and the bathroom. So it's a great line. It smells good. It's super fresh. It gets rid of grime and residue, and it's easy to use, and you know it's safe. You can use it around your kids. You can use it around your pets, and it's just going to leave a clean environment. So that's something else to think about. If you look under your cabinet and it is filled with things that have all kinds of scent and lingering and bleach and all of those things, it takes a toll on our body. And as the women and as the providers, we are usually the ones using it. So this would be a great switch to make to help lessen that toxic overload inside of our bodies. Okay, could not have this presentation and not talk about lifelong vitality. So lifelong vitality is the foundation for health and wellness. And you can think of it in this way. It is what it gives our body the energy to repair. So our body always wants to repair. And then we provide it with oil so that it can get to work and start doing it. But what if it doesn't have the energy to do it in the first place? That is what lifelong vitality is. It's your minerals, your vitamins, your omegas, your antioxidants, the things that a lot of them we used to get from our food, and we don't get it from our food sources anymore. And it's in the perfect dose to be therapeutic for our bodies. And so typically we'll take 2 sets a day, 2 of each per day, set with breakfast, set with lunch. If you're a super active person, you can add another set with lunch after lunch for added energy to go into the evening hours. If you're somebody who has something going on inside of their body and they need more support, the full dose is 4 sets a day. So you can just kind of use it and see where your energy level lies and know if you need more or less. The other product here is Zendocrine, and this is a targeted organ cleanser. So if you know that you got buildup and you need to clean it out, this is a powder complex, not to be confused with the oil complex. There's an oil Zendocrine, which helps with causing the detox process. This one is to open your exit pathways. It opens the liver, kidneys, colon, lungs, and skin so that toxins can start to leave. That is one of the biggest benefits, because it doesn't matter how much we can detox. If it can't get out, it's still hanging out inside of your body somewhere. Your body still has to deal with it in some way, needs to be able to get all the way out. So Zendocrine is a great product to incorporate once a quarter also, as just ungunking organs that have gunked up over a lifetime. You know, we have a lifetime of food and maybe previous medications we were on, and all of those things can gunk up our exit pathways. So we want to clean them out, and that's what Zendocrine is for. All right, so typically, I'll leave you with this. We are heading into the time of year where sugar intake shoots up. Think of the benefits to your body if you start incorporating the things we talked about over this next month. Every decision we make is moving us either closer or further away from illness. Every bite of food we take, every lotion that we put on, our body has to deal with. So it's either making us healthier or less healthy. These are some super easy ways that we can incorporate steps that will make a huge impact in our body. And the cool thing is we aren't reliant on anybody else to do them for us. These are things that we can do. We're going to have a recording of this available. So if you think of any lady friends that need to hear this information, please feel free to share it with them. You all also, if you have a doTERRA account, you all have your own unique referral code that you can send with it. If they want to get started on some of the techniques and the oils to go along with it, they can purchase them through you. We don't want our friends to hear this information and then go and try a bottle of frankincense from Whole Foods or from a Facebook ad for $10. Those have been studied, you guys. There's no frankincense in those bottles. Who knows what's in there? Chances are it is synthetic. It could have pesticides. It doesn't matter what it says on the label. Those have all been tested and been found to be unpure. And so the reason I mention that is because we don't want to be doing all the work of incorporating these steps into our life and then actually adding another toxin into it by putting on a synthetic oil. So they need to be using doTERRA oils if they want to do this with you. And the cool part is when you share your link with them, they get free wholesale pricing because of you. And you get doTERRA dollars from their purchase that go directly into your account that you can use towards product, just like cash. So I want to make sure you knew about that. If you don't know how that works, reach out to the person who invited you to this and they can share that with you. So I just wanted to leave you with this thought. Given the stats we talked about, chances are everyone on this webinar knows someone who is affected by breast cancer. Their stories are incredible testimonials to the strength of the human spirit, to the tenacity of a mother fighting to be with her children. Thank you for spending this time with us today. Breast cancer awareness may be in October, but breast cancer is active all year long. Let's lock arms and make sure that no matter where a woman is in this stage of her journey, that they have the tools to help them fight this fight. Thank you, friends. I'm so happy you were here with us today.